featured speaker, Mr. Darrell White, Chairman and CEO of RBC, Mr. Sharon Mangro, Chief Executive Officer of the Catholic Education Board of Management, staff, parents, alumni, students, awardees, ladies and gentlemen. For 21 months, our students and teachers transitioned into the online environment. Physical schooling and all that it entails came to a crashing halt. A microbe now has us existing in a new normal. Our new students in 2019 experienced only 1 term and 2 months of what is truly Pres life. Our 2020 intake also did not experience the physical Pres, and this is tragic. Life at Presentation College is more than academic and certification. Walking in the hollow walls of the school and the coffee, the lunchtime sweat, the football assemblies, the musicals, charity events, sports day, and an entire school marching on a dusty field. This is just but a glimpse of life in Pres that we all truly miss. Presentation College, under the guidance of our virtual angels, rose to the challenge. These angels, in the persons of Mr. Terrence John, Mr. Frazan Abdul, Mr. Jude Julian, and Mr. Ramesh Sukur, ensured a smooth transition beyond the norm. Special commendation to all our staff, teaching and non-teaching, who demonstrated a spirit of resilience, not forgetting our alumni, church, business community, parents, and of course our students. Our founding fathers left us a legacy, a fighting spirit, one that never surrenders. We may stumble, sometimes we fall, but our resilience allows us to lift ourselves up and move on. Yes, moving on was never easy and will continue to pose challenges. However, the legacy of resilience built in the DNA of every Pres man and Pres woman ensured that we soldiered on. Despite being online, we ensure that college days may be of worth. There will always be trials to face each day. But guess what? We are brave soldiers in this bitter strife. It is with that understanding that we can still stand majestic on the virtual hill as we did in the last 2 years, and we may have to continue in that vein for some time to come. With such majesty, we honor our students and staff today who displayed that spirit of resilience in the last 21 months. You have demonstrated that the presentation legacy is very much alive. More than that, you have shown that the values of compassion and caring continue to be the hallmark of every Pres man, Pres woman, past, present, and in the future. All of you are special and are called to make a difference here and now. The Pres legacy endureth forever. We will overcome. We are a resilient community. May God continue to bless us in our journey. Thank you very much.
Chairman, principal, staff, the entire family of the Presentation College, San Fernando community. It is always a joy to bring greetings to the Presentation College San Fernando family. And this prize giving function is especially so. The past school year has been filled with opportunities for growth and for service to students and to the national community. The Presentation College family has risen to the challenge and embrace all these opportunities for growth. We at the Catholic Education Board of Management are happy with the leadership that you have provided as the country seeks to give high quality education to each one of our students amid the pandemic. This has borne fruit in the individual successes of our students as we seek to develop the best in each one so that they become the best person that each of our students can be. Such development has included not only the academic areas, but sought to teach our children, our young men, to be more human, and in being more human, to be members of a community. And I'm thinking particularly of the way that our teachers have reached out to other teachers to help them to cope with the switch to online education. I'm thinking of our students reaching out to students at the Hardbargain Primary School to bring joy to those children. I'm grateful to the entire staff of Presentation College, the entire staff, not just the teachers, but all the support staff that make even teaching possible. I'm grateful to you for your commitment as you model the values and the attitudes of Jesus Christ to the school community and beyond. In 2022, we began our journey. We began it late last year towards this synod on synodality. I look forward to the support of the Presentation College San Fernando family as we continue on our work together, especially as we participate fully in the dialogue on synodality. May God continue to bless each one of you, to bless your homes, to bless your families, to bless you in each one of your endeavors. May God let his face shine on you and be gracious to you in this year. Thank you. Goodbye.
Principal Dexter Mitchell, the Vice Principal, the teachers, the students of Presentation College, and other special invitees to this Presentation College's prize-giving ceremony. I was quite humbled when Principal Mitchell asked me to address the prize-giving ceremony at Pres. No more so because, as I openly say, I considered myself to be an average student at Presentation College. I would say decidedly average. I think I may have won awards for literature, a subject I truly love, but I'm really not at all sure. But then again, it's easy to enjoy and to excel at things you love. The real discipline is to do things you don't love as much. There was and there is no dishonor in being average at Pres. And I somewhat reveled in my mediocrity and academic anonymity, as I'd like to say. I was surrounded by brilliance in all spheres: sports, academics, the arts. You know, we all search for our niche in the world where we will carve our own names in the annals of history and hopefully of life and accomplishment. And that search is fueled by an intellectual curiosity, a love for community and family, fear of God, and it's distilled into a sense of what we call purpose. So, when Principal asked me to speak to Presentation College's legacy of resilience, I paused to give thought of this institution that gave this country presidents and prime ministers, numerous ministers of government and business leaders, gave the world scientists, doctors, lawyers, and leaders in the judiciary, engineers of the highest caliber, premier entertainers who took our art form to the world and polished it up. And this institution that is Presentation is now poised to give the world you. A sense of legacy pays homage to what has gone before, the work and sacrifice done by others, often overlooked but cornerstones to the foundation that is Pres. A legacy at once speaks to the past, connects with the present, and scribes the future. Those of us who have graduated these hallowed halls and sheltered on the covered way left that legacy on the pages of Pres, and we continue to be defined as Pres men throughout our lives, with some pride I might add. Just as the pen might slip from our grasp to yours, and you continue writing, defining, and redefining that legacy is a responsibility that we must bear, since others bore it before us, to be men of honor, dignity, courage, and integrity. That legacy belongs to all of us. And it's to be jealously protected and preserved. It's a legacy that has benefited and built on the commitment of diligent and caring teachers who've always gone beyond, past students who give back for the betterment of our beloved presentation, parents who sacrifice, and students who embrace the history and tradition that makes prayers, whose fathers, grandfathers, uncles, cousins, brothers have worn that PC crest, the luster of which we preserve in the hope that one day our sons and nephews and grandsons will wear. And there's one thing you must have heard of, spoken over and over. It's the prayers spirit. Resilience is as much as a prayers characteristic as any. Our college hymn echoes the refrain of trials faced every day. Resilience at once speaks to the ability to withstand the toughest of times, to somehow overcome in the face of adversity, and not just any adversity, but constant, withering challenges. The times we have lived through in the last 2 Corona plague years speaks to and asks us to be resilient. What I really find interesting about resilience is that we are not required to be resilient for things we are conditioned for, but for the things we are not conditioned for. Swimming is natural for a fish. Ask it to run around the field. Anyone remember that first PE training or football camp when you feel to throw up? Do you give up or do you go back for more? If you do go back for more, why do you? That math problem that you want to solve, that Spanish oral that you're nervous about. What about that girl who you like who blanks you in the very first ask? Will you ask again? Or your parents when you want to get something from them, to go out on that special night line with the guys. How resilient are you for those occasions? I know guys who travel daily from Seatrust, Point Fortin, Miaro to come to school, and I'm sure you do as well. There are examples all around us. A blind girl completing her law degree, a woman victim of domestic violence who has one arm but is a gardener and a farmer. My own son, Stefan, who is spinal bifida but runs his own gym. It's easier to reach the skies from the top of the mountain, but what does it take to reach from the depth of the valley? People we look at in awe and think we couldn't do what they did. But cometh the hour, so cometh the man. The prayers man at that. The resilient spirit doesn't say, I can. It says, I will. It doesn't see obstacles. It sees challenges to overcome. The other story that we give about a boy who ran behind a bus all the way home when he missed the bus. And when he reached home, he told his dad, well, Dad, guess what? I ran behind the bus all the way home and I saved $2. And the father gave him a good clout and said, that's it? You ran behind the bus and you only saved $2? So the following day, the boy, in an effort to improve himself, tried to take a taxi, but he missed the taxi. So he ran behind the taxi all the way home. And when he got home, he told Dad, he said, Dad, guess what? Yesterday I saved only $2, but today I ran behind a taxi and I saved $10. Now, that's a story of resilience, but it also should be a story that tells you resilience should have a certain modicum of intelligence that goes with it. We have to be resilient for a purpose, and that purpose has to be a meaningful purpose. So, the times we have been through calls upon us to be resilient. And suddenly everyone seems to be writing and pontificating on the qualities of resilient people and resilient institutions, qualities of vision, of learning, of challenging, of intellectual curiosity, of grit and determination, of being focused on the destination and not just the journey, of openness and welcoming diversity and adversity, of being comfortable with being uncomfortable, of being all right without all being right. But the one thing that stands out to me is purpose. And that vehicle of resilience, with the engine of purpose, is powered by an emotional fuel called belief. You see, prayers always has had purpose and belief in abundance. Our values are engineered for just that. And resilience, in significant measure, means that you have to learn to deal with and overcome things when they do not go as you planned or hoped. The guy who invented WD-40 is a great story to me. The reason he named it WD-40 is because the WD stands for water displacement. We use it all around the homes. It's a top seller all around the world in every hardware you could think of, in every home. But the reason he called it WD-40 was because he failed 39 times before getting the correct formula. You see, success is carved and built on the back of failure. And resilience is what helps you to overcome failure. Wilbur and Orville Wright in that first flight at Kitty Hawk, how many times had they failed before? The Pres St. Michael's swimming pool, how long did it take to build? How many raffle tickets were sold and donations solicited in cash or in kind to help build it? I remember working on that when I was in school, and that's a long time ago, selling raffle tickets in Carlton Center. Think of Prez first intercol win after 44 years of trying. The 1975 experience I remember because I had just about entered school, and actually it was 74, I think is the closest we had gotten. I wasn't even in presentation yet, my brother was, and I attended intercol. And I saw that game when then Francis Bertrand, who was to become the mayor of Point Fortin, captain Presentation College, rocketed a header off the crossbar. And we were inches away from winning. And we ended up sharing that title with a Belmont secondary. But we never singularly won that intercol title. Yes, while I was in college, I saw talented players, broken legs in intercol. A national super athlete, Anthony Monroe, all for the effort of doing something that marks that legacy. And through those years, we soldiered on. How many times have we had to sing, "We shall overcome someday"? At the end of a game we lost, or we will beat them next year? Not to mention the ever famous, rollicking, stirring, boomeraka, boomeraka, siskoon, bar, buck-up presentation. Fast forward to 2019. I watched the game in the airport in Barbados. Resilience. I was the only person in that airport looking at the screen and jumping up and down, and they thought I was crazy. 44 years later, presentation finally won an intercol title. All the hard work, all the years of effort, never giving up. Resilience. There's individual resilience, what we find on ourselves, and there's institutional resilience, what's built into the institution. Unfortunately, Press has institutional resilience that feeds off of the individual resilience of our students, our teachers, our history, and our legacy. I like to be reminded of my failures. It fuels my next triumph. Your past successes are the most likely source of your future failures, and your past failures are the most likely source of your future successes. Comforts make you less resilient sometimes. So, young men, I encourage you, get out of your comfort zone. Challenge yourself. There's a young man I saw afflicted with cerebral palsy, and he recently completed his law degree. Think of Nelson Mandela in prison for 27 years. He had to change the way he thought. He had to reform himself, his thinking, for a sense of purpose. And purpose, in his instance, a united South Africa, gave a sense of resilience to last for 27 years in prison. What has been the purpose of Presentation College? How many of us, if challenged, can devote ourselves to our calling to serve as do the presentation brothers and our teachers, the principal, the teaching fraternity, that calling to impart knowledge and shape minds? I think Phyllis Gonzalez, my art teacher, is still active and doing her best to impart knowledge at some 95 years old. I salute you, Ms. Gonzalez. What a wonderful story of the press spirit living in you. The press spirit of resilience is built on purpose and character. Hardships and challenges test our character, and that character is developed long before the hardships emerge. Iron is forged by a repeated process of heating and cooling, getting it stronger with each test. Our institutional resilience is built around us coalescing on common values, of which I have spoken, and cultivating a community of shared purpose. You may ask how you, as young men, build that resilience, but you are building it every day. Studying longer hours than anyone else takes resilience. Sometimes it's as simple as outworking the next person. It's my formula for success. Giving up that immediate gratification of a line or event when friends are encouraging you, that takes resilience. Getting that project done on time, being a student athlete, leading the cadets, being in the scouts or choir, juggling those responsibilities and commitments while developing other skills takes resilience. You are being tested every day. But your most consistent invigilator must be yourselves, because no one else is watching but you and your conscience when you make those decisions and test yourselves. So test yourselves, young men. Know your limits, but push your boundaries. Dare to dream, to be not just more, but to be all you can be. Like steel, survive the heat, survive the beating, you emerge stronger. Be humble as you aspire. We are good but by the collective greatness of others. The spirit of resilience is especially alive in those who do less with more. So even though this event celebrates success, know that there are many, many more and many measures of success. Short-term success may be aided by luck or circumstance. Not that they are any different, but long-term success comes only with resilience. I am proud to look around our community and see long-term successes among Presmen. I'm a banker. And at one point of the 7 commercial banks in Trinidad, 3 were led by women and 4 by men. And of the men, 3 were past students of Presentation College San Fernando. I am sure that my story is not singular. And I'm sure that your successes will redound and rebound and build you through your resilience as Presmen of today and significant contributors to this world in the future. Congratulations to the awardees in their respective disciplines. Well done on your immediate achievements. Know that each of you has a place in this world that is uniquely yours. You are, at the same time, part of a proud legacy. Stay safe and stay proud to be Preds.